It's now 14 to 4, Jazz Radio 94.1 FM. And speaking of award-winning jazz singers, many of our listeners will have caught Claire Walters, one of our up-and-coming young singers at the Broadbeach Jazz Festival. And Claire's on the line. Claire, thanks very much for joining us.
How are you going?
Pretty good.
Good.
Now, you've been performing at a number of venues around the Gold Coast and Brisbane, various other places. Tell us about how you became involved in jazz.
I'd have to blame that one on my nana and her old collection of CDs. I had an obsession with MGM musicals, and I think my all-time favourite was Ann Miller when she was in Easter Parade singing Shaking the Blues Away. So I think that's where it all started. It was mainly musical theatre, but then I started listening to a Nat King Cole CD, and that kind of sealed the deal. Yeah,
well, that's a great inspiration. And you, when you went to school and university, you were majoring in jazz, is that right?
I'd have to thank my music extension teacher at high school, Tim Sherlock, and he it was either out of classical for music extension or popular, so we went the popular way, and that really helped as well, sort of just getting a different vocal technique, and I found I was just a lot more comfortable in that situation. So I think it's just improvisation that got me.
Big break must have been when you performed at Magnetic Island.
That was amazing fun, and I actually had the pleasure of playing with John Hoffman as well. He will be there on Monday night. And also another big one for me would have been the James Morrison Scholarship, and performing at Mount Gambier. That was definitely a highlight.
Yeah, James Morrison's done so much for young Australian artists, and you're going to be performing at the Gold Coast City Jazz Club on Monday night, and you've got together a very impressive lineup in your quintet.
Well, first of all, John Hoffman, he was at uni when I was there, and we did concerts together, and he made me grow, that's for sure, along with my teacher Irene. And then John Reeves, he is also a very inspirational pianist, and I think he's perfect already, but he's always saying that he's learning every day, but I guess we all are. And then Peter Walters, who played in numerous of my uni exams, and everyone thinks we're related, but we're not. And then Joe Marcasella, who's a great friend and a fantastic drummer as well, so I'm very stoked to be playing with these guys.
Yeah, that's always a good thing, to surround yourself with the best musicians, and yeah, I agree with you, they're fantastic musicians, particularly John Reeves on piano is a very gifted musician.
He's just wonderful.
You're going to be going on a cruise, you were telling me earlier. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's with another pianist, good friend of mine, Damien Sim, and we've got a drummer, and I'm not too sure who the bass player is yet. We're still finalising that, but it's Allure of the Seas, and we'll be going around Western and Eastern Caribbean, so performing every night, which is something that I think all musicians strive to get, so I'm very, very lucky. And just normal jazz standards, and then we might throw in a bit of Roberta Flack and the old soul.
Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And what about recording? Any plans to produce a CD?
Yeah, that's definitely on the horizon. I've got one sort of going already with my Originals Funk and Aussie hip-hop group, the Boss Cats, so we're currently laying down vocals for that, which is amazing fun. But for the jazz, it's taken a while because I've just always wondered what I was going to do, but now I think I'm heading in the right direction, so I'll get some good musicians, and we'll just play.
That's the way to do it. Well, Claire, It's great to talk to you, and I'm sure it'll be a fantastic night on Monday night at the Gold Coast City Jazz Club, and that's happening at the Southport Yacht Club from 7 to 10 p.m. They're our sponsors, incidentally.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure, and we'll talk to you again down the track, possibly after your cruise. You can tell us all about how much fun you had on that.
And the tan that I got.
Okay, thanks a lot, Claire.
Oh, good. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. It's 9 to 4, Jazz Radio 94.1 FM.